Welcome back to part 2 of What If Ahsoka Sensed Anakin's Fall. Thank you to those of you who watched the first part of this video. To recap what happened in that part in case you haven't seen it, Ahsoka had managed to sense the events in the Chancellor's office with the help of Maul, and had managed to alert Shakti at the Jedi Temple. The council member had saved Windu from Anakin's betrayal, and after capturing the Jedi Knight, they pursued Palpatine with the help of Maul and the clones. The delayed Ahsoka, on the other hand, worked to free her master and hoped to turn him back to the light, but as they are about to leave, Palpatine stood in their way. The Dark Lord of the Sith slowly walked from the shadows, and with one of his hands, he summoned a blue cloud of Sith magic and fired it at Ahsoka and the still form of Anakin, leaving the Padawan with no choice but to release the hold on her master. Repelling the attack with her hands, Ahsoka realised that the Sith was toying with her as she began to lose her footing on the cold and slippery floor, before she is interrupted by Maul. The Zabrak manoeuvred a fallen pillar into the path of Palpatine, but it could only delay him temporarily, as he casually rolled away and summoned Anakin with the Force. When the smoke finally settled, Palpatine had disappeared into the night sky of Coruscant, leaving the Jedi with a dangerous Sith and a powerful apprentice on the loose. As Ahsoka recovered to her feet, she detected a terrifying shockwave of motion from Maul, and it is soon followed by all of the clone troopers turning in their direction and executing Order 66. The loyalty maintained to the Jedi had given Mace Windu just enough time to disarm all of the present clone commanders, and as the troopers began to fire, the Jedi took the commanders to the Halls of Healing on the words of Rex. Ahsoka, on the other hand, ran out of the temple, deflecting every blaster bolt aimed at her, but as she began to struggle with fatigue, she was saved by the arriving Jedi of Obi-Wan and Yoda. The Jedi Masters asked Ahsoka to go to the apartment of Senator Amidala, as the Jedi tried to protect themselves from Order 66, and there she found Bail Organa also waiting for her. The two senators were locked in a battle with the clone troopers, with Palpatine regarding them as enemies of the Republic, and as the clone gunships grew closer and closer to the building, Ahsoka leapt onto one of them and turned the turrets onto the others to drive them away. More clones were arriving from the other worlds, so Padme and Bail Organa jumped onto the ship, flying to the Alderaanian senator's cruiser. Padme gives birth to Luke and Leia, whilst the Republic ships began to chase them above the airspace of Coruscant, and leaving the senator to recover, Ahsoka took the gunship to the planet's surface to try and look for any clues in a bid to find her master. By the time she had dodged the hailstorm of gunfire, the Jedi had done a much more thorough job on the ground, and most of the clones had either been killed or had their control chips removed. Unfortunately for the Jedi, the Emperor maintained authority over the Galactic Senate, and their reputation across the galaxy had been destroyed. Yoda decided on behalf of the Jedi that they should not fight until the tensions had eased, but before he could divide them, Maul had emerged from the mist to attempt a killing strike at Obi-Wan. None of the Jedi were prepared for such an attack, and before any of them could reach him, it is Ahsoka that jumped in the way of the lightsaber, and she dropped to the floor. The Jedi around them capture Maul and place him back in his Mandalorian cage, whilst the clones carry the Jedi Padawan to the medical bay. Ahsoka had the foresight to deflect the attack on Obi-Wan with her lightsaber, but the injuries were severe as the medical droids healed the wounds with the healers. On an Imperial Star Destroyer, Anakin had awoken from the attack made by Palpatine aimed for Ahsoka and found himself in the unfamiliar surroundings of a cell. As he watched members of the Coruscant Guard patrol the corridors of the small detention complex, he suddenly felt a great surge of pain in his mind, and the Sith apprentice knew Ahsoka had just been gravely injured. Anakin let out a force-orientated roar that shook the ship, and breaking the mechanism outside of the cell, he began choking everyone he could find, whilst he made his way to the navigational officers on the bridge. At the head of the destroyer was Tarkin and Palpatine, but as Anakin made a move to choke the Admiral, Palpatine stopped him with a minuscule movement of his hand, and the clone troopers placed him in the high security cell of the ship. The Sith Lord did not have the time for Anakin's conflict with the light side, and walking to the holotable, he found one of the remaining clone troopers on Coruscant, reporting that Senator Amidala had escaped with the help of Padawan Tano. Palpatine ordered every single Imperial to hunt them down, and thereby seal Anakin's transformation to the dark side. That is it for part 2 of What If Ahsoka Sensed Anakin's Fall. If you'd like to see a part 3 soon, please like this video, turn on the notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.